Hey guys, I'm going to do a short little video on this Jarvis Mikuni carb mod. There's quite a popular thread on this. I think the history goes back to supposedly a Jarvis mechanic that made these modifications, and they kind of figured out what works best for these Mikuni carbs back in 2017 when the pros were running them. So guys have been having a lot of success with it. I'm gonna try it. I haven't seen any videos on the whole mod. I've seen videos on certain things to do to the carb and modifications, but I'm gonna walk through the whole thing and with my experience, and I'll do a review, just a background. I was contemplating getting Electron. I was contemplating getting a smart carb or a key and air striker. But then I read up on this a little bit, did a bunch of research, and guys are saying that they're having good success with this carb. I bought this bike. This is a 2018 300TX Husqvarna. I bought it about 4 or 5 months ago. I put about 50 hours on it. I didn't have a hard time with the carb, but you could tell it's not running right. It's a bit rich. It's bogging down low. So just wanted to kind of wake it up a bit and see what options are there. Before I spend any money on a Electron or smart carb, which I'm not really keen to do. I'd probably, if I do anything, I'll probably end up buying a key in again. So anyways, I'm going to walk you through what I'm going to do and what this process is. There's a pretty popular thread on Thumper Talk. There might be others on KTM Talk, but I just read through most of it. There's about 44 pages on this thread, but if you read the first 2-3 pages, you kind of get the gist of it. So main thing is, so let's start. Get the carb out of the bike. I'm not going to tell you how to get the carb out of the bike. If you don't know, Google it, play around with it, but that's what it looks like with the carb out. So I've got the carb here. I've taken it apart. I just want to get a baseline on the carb of what was in there. So we had so actually I'll show you this first. This is the famous photo of a handwritten setup for supposedly Graham and some of the other pro riders when they were running the Mikuni carbs. So this is kind of what they were running with the jetting. Most of this stuff has been fixed, like the S4 emulator tube. If you have a 2018-2019 bike, it's in there. 25 Pilot was in there, 80 idle jets in there. I think I had a 450 main, so I'm going to change that to 440. That's the stuff you get with the bike. Top clip, the needle was on the second clip, so I'm going to put it to top. And even the needles are fixed. They talk about getting a 4375 and a 4275 needle, and the 2018s have that. It was actually 4375 was in there with the second clip, so I'm just going to change that. But if you got 2017, you're probably going to have to get needles. You're going to have the S4 emulation tube. I'm not sure about the idle jet. And yeah, those are kind of the things. So here's my list to do. So the mod talks about a slide notch, loop the overflow drain line, pinch overflow pipe, drain bolts, 1/16 drill bit, check the reed valves, make holes bigger in plastic splash guard. The needle I have, so I don't need to mess with that. Float height, check it. The optional is the jet block gasket kit that JD Jetting sells for $8. I'm going to do that. I don't have those parts yet, so I'm going to put this stuff together, and I'll do that later at another time. I have a feeling I might have to tinker with the jetting anyway. So yeah, and then the RK head, I mean, a lot of guys talk about that. I'm not going to do that. I don't have $300 US right now to deal with it. So let's get started. So the first one is this drain bolt. So you could see there's 4 holes in the float bowl, and the drain bolt, the mod calls for lining up and drilling holes out on this drain bolt that line up. This apparently gets more fuel up to the main jet and better response on the main circuit. And then also this is the splash guard that goes in here. These little holes, just widen them, make them a little bit bigger. And then the slide notch. So this little notch here, right here on the back side or front side or whatever you call it, that one, it calls to be filed down, approximately 5/32 file. So I'm going to do that. I'll file that down. Apparently that mod is not as important. Pinch the overflow. Some guys do the pinch that, some guys don't. I'm going to loop the drain. I think I lose a lot of gas from the bike being over more than 10-15 degrees. So I'm going to loop this hose. And I don't know if I'm going to pinch that drain pipe, but it calls for a drain pinch, or a pinch on that pipe. I'm going to check the reed valves. Yeah, that's it. So I will start doing this stuff, and then I'll show you what I done with the finished product. So here's the slide. Just be very careful with the slide. It's made of really soft material. So that little notch, I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. Fortunately, I don't have a 532 file, but I do have a 732 from my chainsaw. So I'm just gonna use the 732. So yeah, just go gently because it is very soft material. So there's kind of the finished product. I don't know how much to take out, but apparently there's some debate about this, whether this actually does anything or what the benefits are, but it seems like this mod here is the least important one. So I just did it anyway, but see if it helps. I just took out a little bit and see if that's enough. You can see a bunch of pictures on Thumper Talk on this. So I just added these 4 holes to the drain bowl. Apparently this is probably the most important thing you could do that really helps the fuel get to the main jet. So everyone seems to kind of agree this is the top layer of the cake, or whatever you want to call it. So this is the mod you need to do. So what I did was, when I had it in the bowl, I marked the tops, I tapped it, and I drilled a 1/16 drill hole. So I'll put it back, see if the holes line up. They should line up with the holes in the drain bowl there, so we'll see.